McDonald, thank you.
Taoiseach, the people sent you and your government a very clear message on Friday. They very clearly rejected the policies of your government and told you that you have no mandate to implement the misery that you are inflicting on families and the damage you are causing to society. The people have now told you to end your brutal agenda of relentless austerity, to reverse your policy of taking medical cards from sick children, of imposing a family home tax, of introducing a water tax, and of inflicting vicious cuts in supports to the most vulnerable of citizens. To borrow your own phraseology, Taoiseach, Friday was a real democratic revolution, and you and your government have been given notice to quit. That's why Éireann Gilmore of the Labour Party is gone. But what of yourself, Taoiseach? What's your response to the electorate's devastating verdict? Have you got the message? Are you listening to what the people have told you? Will you now acknowledge the clearly expressed wishes of the people for a fundamental change of political direction? Now, I know you won't resign, that's clear. But will you now renegotiate the programme for government? And when will this happen? And what of your plan to take a further $2 billion in cuts from the economy in the next budget? Will you persist in this direction? Taoiseach, have you listened to what the people have told you? Or are you listening instead to your predecessors, Taoiseach and Fine Gael leader John Bruton, who believes that we are facing another 10 or 15 years of cutbacks and brutal austerity budgets?
Thank you. Taoiseach.
Well, I think I was here when former Minister Bruton was here. I think he had 2 attempts at budgets and neither of them actually went through. In any event, I don't agree with his assertion. We're not going to change political direction here, Deputy McDonald. We have set out targets and objectives and they must be achieved. The question of the scale of adjustment in the October budget for 2015 is one that we cannot determine just now, because we have to review and see what the scale and state of the national accounts are later this year. So from that point of view, I can't give you, or anybody else can give, a definite answer until we see the scale of what's actually involved here. But what is said, that it's a priority for government to be that where flexibility can be shown in the budget, that it go to hard-pressed taxpayers. Now, congratulations on your success with your members around the country. However, I want you to understand, Deputy McDonald, that what I've heard from your party spokespeople over the last period is that we should have free water, a reversal of universal social charges, an abolition of property charges, that everything and every service is free of charge. None of you have ever pointed out, despite the fact that you say your programmes were costed, you have an 82% income tax rate built in here. You're now going to face the future, I suppose, with charged emotion. But the next contest, Deputy McDonald, is of a different nature, because it's going to be about whether the people of this country want a government, in this case the Fine Gael Labour government, that is competent in keeping the affairs of our country in a state of solidarity, in a state of stability, and where confidence continues to grow. And the evidence is before our eyes that yields have fallen from 15% to 2.6%, and we've had 24 consecutive months of a fall in the unemployment lists, and that's heading in the right direction. So the question for the future will be, who do you want in charge of the nation's economy? Do you want Fianna Fáil, who wrecked it, who put this on the shoulders of every person in the country and the next generation? Or do you want the Sinn Féin party, who shout from every crossroads that everything should be free and have no plan or no notion of pointing out who's actually going to pay for it? And it's not just a case of saying it should be different. Let me assure you, Deputy McDonald, that if this government of Fine Gael and Labour did not make the difficult decisions that we had to make, then this country would be consigned to penury for the next generation because of the catastrophic effects of what they left behind. And I will not shirk that responsibility. I will not back from that. And we will achieve the objectives that we have set out here. The scale of that adjustment for October budget is one that we cannot answer now until we see the state of the national accounts and the national finances during the course of the year.
Sorry. This is not a shouting contest. This is what you call leaders' questions, where the leaders are entitled to ask a question and receive a reply in silence. So would you please settle down and take your tablets, or else leave the chair. Deputy McDonald, thank you. Deputy McDonald, please. Thank you.
Well, Taoiseach, I don't really know how to break this to you, but you are not regarded as competent. You should have seen that. Did you not follow the election results? No. You are not regarded as competent, and neither are you regarded as fair. And you talk about others subjecting people to penury. That's precisely what you have done. There is no public support for taking discretionary medical cards from very sick children. Do you get that, Taoiseach? Have you heard that now?
Sorry, would you put a question? This is question.
It's clear from your response that there will be no renegotiation of the programme for government. Did you hear that, Labour?
No, you address the chair, please, not the
Did
Labour.
you tell Eamon Gilmore that?
Sorry, this is not play acting here. Would you ask a question?
Have you told the Labour Party of this? There'll be no change either, it seems, in terms of the scale of cutback envisaged in the next budget. Does the Labour Party know that too? So it seems to me that far from listening to the people and hearing the message,
sorry, Deputy, put your
there's a frantic effort now to rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic, to change the face or the voice at the mic, and to continue on regardless. And Taoiseach, that's not acceptable. And if you persist in that way, well, then you haven't listened, or you're not willing to listen.
Thank you.
And if by any chance you're declaring here in the Dáil a general election, well, good for you. Bring it on, Taoiseach, because it's not so much that the political parties are waiting. The people are waiting for you.
We're over time.
So no change to the programme for government, no change to the cutbacks. Let me put this question to the Taoiseach.
No, you're way over time. No, you're not. Will you please resume your seat?
Will you at least give back the medical card to Katie Connolly, a young child with Down syndrome?
Sorry, Deputy, would you please put...
To Alex...
No, Deputy, we're not having this now, please.
Child.
I'm on my feet. Would you please respect the chair? Thank you. I'm on my feet. Thank you.
Voices of the people.
I'd ask everybody to please respect the chair. As I said before, change the rules. But don't ask me to preside over contests where there are no rules, according to some people. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy McDonald. I think in my years in here, I've never passed a personal comment about any member of the House in respect of their ability, their competence, or their fairness. If you want to proceed on that line, then that's your right, I suppose. The programme for government agreed between the Fine Gael and the Labour parties has been over 90% completed. Following the exit by the country of the programme, we published a medium-term economic strategy. That sets out the path to progress for continued stability, confidence, growth and jobs. It is about investment, growth and jobs at the end of the day. You don't want that because you want anarchy if you could have your way. Now, therefore, for the future, and obviously the Labour Party will do their own process in terms of finding a successor to Éireann Gilmore. But the medium-term economic strategy that we set out points the way to the future for the country. And within that, we do recognise, as we have done for a long time, the problems that our country faced given what we inherited. And it's not been easy, Deputy McDonald. Not been easy. Now, I'm well aware, only too well aware, that there's a problem in regard to discretionary medical cards. And I'm going to fix that problem. Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that? I'm going to fix that problem.
Thank you.
There is a problem here. And the problem is in the way that the whole process of dealing with these has not been the way I want it to be. and he will deal with this, Deputy McDonald. Believe me, I've got a set of proposals for a Cabinet Subcommittee tomorrow. Finally, last Cancorla, may I say, in respect of cutbacks for the next budget, we've already set out what the targets are for 2015. Nobody can tell us at this stage what the exact state of the national finances will be until later on this year. And we've already made it perfectly clear that whatever flexibility is available to the government in the course of preparing for this budget will be shown to hard-pressed people and hard-pressed families. But we can't resile from the fact, Deputy McDonald, that the decisions that the government of Fine Gael and Labour had to make, if these decisions were not made, our country would be consigned to a generation of absolute poverty. You don't like to see a situation where 1,000 jobs a week are being created. You don't like to see a situation where confidence is returning to the country, because all you want to do is shout from the outside and say, I don't have responsibility, therefore water charges should be reversed, therefore USC should be abolished, therefore property charges should be eliminated. When your spokesman on finance was asked 5 times the other day, will you propose to reverse the water charge legislation, the answer was in the negative. So you're fine on that side of the House, but woe betide the day for the taxpayer of this country and the business people that you get responsibility when you won't own up to what it is that you're proposing, an 82% income tax rate and God knows what to follow.